Hey everybody, welcome to the Long War. This is our new weekly webcast for thelongwar.net. I'm MBG, or as my friends call me, Robbie B. I'm here
Robbie
today. I'm here today
B.
with none other than Kenny Boucher and Stephen Four, aka
Yo,
Juice.
Hey, what's up, guys? How's everybody doing?
Dude, just kicking it. I think one of my cats like pooped in my pillow because like I got like pink eye or something. Like I don't know what's going on, but
Yeah, you can blame that on the cats if you want, but we all know you have a wipey problem.
Yeah, I think that's actually called the poo eye. It's a real thing.
I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. So please don't look directly at me.
I just want to say I'm keeping it icy tonight.
Ooh.
What do you got going on there?
Obviously, some Steel Reserve, the iciest of all malt beverages.
Heck yeah, I got some of those hard pressed apple ciders for all those people with the glutens.
That might be the iciest.
Had to go Corona with a lime. Had a cigar tonight, so a cigar always goes best with about 2 or 3 Corona with lime.
That's true. That's true.
Robbie B. So what do we got on the docket for tonight?
So what we got going on today is I think we're gonna try to break down the show into like 3 parts that we both specialize in because it's kind of what we bring to the table. Like I do a lot with the modeling. Kenny does a lot with the painting, the airbrushing, of course, and you are definitely good at playing and other things well too, like painting. But we're gonna focus more on Kenny there. So I'm gonna things. Yes, you can. So I'm thinking I'm gonna get more. I'm thinking we're gonna break it down like some resin miniature stuff, like working with resin. Kind of seems to be the bane of a lot of people's hobbying right now, especially with all these new resin kits coming out. Forge World, that big Titan came out today, so I'm sure I don't even know where to start with that thing, but I think Kenny's going to get into airbrushing time management, kind of bringing the hobby back there, and you're looking at some gamer etiquette, some tabletop gaming etiquette, I think.
Yeah, what you need to do as a player to bring your A game, not only in the basement gaming, but also in the tournament scene as well.
Yeah, I think that's a big point. I feel like we've lost a little bit of love there, for our opponents and stuff. So that's going to be. I think we got a lot to talk about tonight.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm anxious to hear what Juice has to say, and even more anxious to hear how to deal with some resin.
So before Robbie B, before you kick us off, I'm gonna do a roll call. Bolum, that is a really good friend of mine and a friend of the show. A lot of you guys might have met him at the Forge the Narrative Seasonal. That is Bolum1. Very good friend Luke. He's excited about the new site. Chris Gardner, that's everybody's favorite Canadian.
My favorite Canadian.
Oh, thanks for checking in. We've got, and please, everybody, don't be shy. I see there's a lot of viewers that haven't checked in. Make sure you do. We can shout you out. Volrath Prime is checking in. Boxcar 40K, even though he's about to change his names to Boxer Cat.
Boxer Cat.
Yo, he does. Some people fight chickens. He boxes cats. And Ben Hopper checking in. So thanks, guys. We're gonna always keep you tuned in.
You guys are first.
You guys are first. I think what Ben Hopper said there was it's 2 a.m. D, talking about some Eldar, right?
Oh, my God. We will get into that at some point.
Oh, yeah, we will.
I'm not ready to talk about it right now.
I'll tell you what, man. When I woke up this morning and I saw that email from Forge World about the video, and I mean, I was like, okay, cool. Let me check this video out. I knew, everybody kind of knows Tempest is coming, Book 5. You got the Ultramarines fighting the Word Bears on Calth and the Ultramarine system. Man, I hit that video and I saw like them scrolling up from the Titans and I'm like, what's this about? They got a lot going on with these Titans. And then like the intro talking about like Beast walking the Earth in the end days, and then all of a sudden they like cut and they show like the Warlord Titan, and I'm like, oh my God.
Is that what that group email I was in with you guys this morning was about?
Yeah, it was like, what is going on? And then it's like the lightning, and it's like, boom, Horus Heresy Spring 2015, and I'm like, I have to sell.
Springtime with a horse.
I'm gonna have to like sell all my cats.
I love it. Well, Robbie B, I got some resin, and I need to know what to do with it.
Man, I'll tell you what, resin it's such a thing. It's such a thing to deal with. the number one tip I try to give everybody, and even Kenny was doing this the other day. I was like, Kenny, what are you doing with your models? He's like, yo, I'm washing them. I'm like, Kenny, they're plastic. He's like, yeah, but they're just better. They just get all the stuff off, all the all the cat hairs, all the glues.
I have a very special reason why I need to wash my models, because some of my models have a lot of cats.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But I do believe that everything is just better when you wash all the oil, because you touch models, you get your oil on them, and it's interesting because you were saying resin basically has a lot of those problems inherently.
Yeah, resin comes. The whole inherent process with resin is they spray some sort of releasing agent, whether it's talc powder, like your basic baby powder. Like I've seen the forge roll molds. They have like a silicone like spray, just like your cooking spray, your Pam or whatever, and they just hose down these molds. Have you guys ever gotten forge roll kits where it's just like it just looks shiny?
Yeah, super shiny.
And then you wash it and it's not shiny anymore.
So what you're telling me is
Exactly.
that I could fry an egg on top of my Hierophant's back?
And it will taste delicious.
Seems good. Trying that. So I just want you guys to know, Robbie V, I need to step up my resin game, and I'm taking notes, and I've got a section here for Kenny as well. But my crayon, I can only write like 4 letters at a time. So wash, WASSH.
WARSH.
Wash baking powder.
Yep.
And pan.
Wash off your baking powder.
Spray pan with.
Yes. Heat Hierophant to 350 degrees. Apply egg. Got it.
Yep. Classic.
You're gonna have more problems than that.
Rob, have you ever had any problems with the resin being like uncured?
That can happen too. And there's all sorts of things you can do with that too. Like sometimes you have to drill holes. You have to let the cured resin out, and it'll just drain forever. A lot of times you might have to call forge rolled. I had a panic attack with my Cromlech Rotten Butcher. I remember I got a panic phone call in the middle of the night.
Oh man,
dude, is this normal? And I'm like, what?
Just to put this, hold on. I want to put this in perspective for everybody. So Robbie B and I will give phone calls in the middle of the night for us. So that's like 2 a.m. That's Kenny's midnight, midday-ish.
That's like lunchtime.
We wake up and we're getting things going. We call each other around lunchtime and we're like, yo, Kenny. He's like, oh, I just rolled out of bed. It's about breakfast time.
Yeah. The hours of operation, man, next level painting is just badass.
Rigorous.
I'll show you guys real quick. This guy right here, this OG pimp, right here, this back, this section of his back is all green stuff because I had to drill that whole section out, let all the resin drain out forever because I had painted him to this quality. This guy painted him up. And then this section just kept bleeding through, and the paint would just keep rubbing off, right? And then eventually, called Rob, he gave me some advice, he got to drill it out. So I had to drill in, and it like gushed, like struck oil, spurted it out. Finally drained it all out. I had to shove a bunch of paper towels in there, all this stuff, coated it with super glue. Then I had to rebuild his back with green stuff and then paint him up. I mean, it was a panic attack because he was painted so well when it happened. Called Cromlech up, and these guys were ace. They sent me a new one immediately. Didn't even ask any questions.
Yeah, and it's really good to hear that they got that kind of customer service. Forge World also has really good customer service. The first thing that I always do when I get my kits from Forge World is I'll open them up and I'll pull out all the parts. It comes with a great diagram, to catalog all your stuff. Make sure it's all there. Make sure that you got the right, the right part, the left part. If you're supposed to have 10 of something, count it all out because there's nothing worse than starting your project and actually running out of parts, right?
Yeah, that's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up because that's actually the last thing that I do. I'm always that guy of like just clip everything I can. I want to put these models together. I got 30 guys I got to put together in about 25 minutes. But so here I am, and next thing I know, I'm like, I didn't do an inventory before I started this, and now all of a sudden I've got like 11 legs and 6 torsos, and so good bit of information there. You can tell a pro versus a amateur.
Yeah, And you know that really goes for the normal plastic kits now too, because I was reading the instructions on the new Sicarians, not to be confused with the Sakaran tank. Right?
Sakaran is a good tank.
It is a super good tank. I love that. Is a great kit. Did a whole assembly video on that too, so definitely check that out over on.
You did. Is that what your resin video was on?
I think one of the last ones. Yeah, I did a drop pod recently. I don't even know what's where anymore. I'm just cranking out so many videos.
Here at the longwar.net, I mean, don't forget, like, that is what we're committed to right now. Like, I mean, I meant to say this earlier, but check out the longwar.net if you already haven't. I know, but you guys in the Q&A are already inaugural members of all the veterans. But if you are not, and it's new to you, it is a membership-based portal. It grants you early, exclusive access to all your favorite hobby channels. That's Spiky Bits, Next Level Painting, and the Long War. You'll get an assembly video or a modeling video in general, maybe conversions. You're going to get a painting tutorial and an exclusive battle report. What Rob means by like he's cranking these videos out, we at the Long War are cranking these videos out. It is all a blur. We're putting so many videos out, working till wee hours in the morning. These hours that Juice was joking about, we're not even joking, man. Like literally, that's what we're doing. Especially to get this thing off the ground so we can get everything going. But please don't hesitate to also check the channels. Like, go to the Long War, you can see all the exclusive stuff. But we got billions of videos. Anything you're curious about, you can go to Spiky Baits, you can go to Next Level Painting, you can go to Long War, you can go back in time, years even in some cases, and see these videos.
Well, I'm a little embarrassed for some of them. You know, some of those 6-year-old ones, don't look at those. But yeah,
don't look at those. Look at those.
Yeah,
hilarious.
Robbie B hasn't changed. He is literally the same face as it is. He doesn't age, actually. The rest of us do.
That's actually how I stay young.
That Dorian Gray. You have a model. You have a model of yourself somewhere in your house that gets really old.
And you don't. So Robbie B, I got a question, man. Now tell me. Let me just let you in on a barely tabletop secret. Now, don't tell anybody this. But how I put my resin models together, because I find when I like to glue something together, if it's not glued within seconds, I'm frustrated. My time frame is moved on, and I'm ready for the next thing. So this is what I do. So I take green stuff. I got a Hierophant. So needless to say, his legs are like this. At the top, at the bottom, they're like this.
The bottom, they don't exist. They're so skinny, they're invisible.
So now I don't know if you've used this technique or am I just way off base here, but I take my resin in and I put glue on it. Then I put a ball of green stuff, or like a flat piece. I rub it out, and then I put on the other end of the joint that it goes in is another piece of glue. So literally the green stuff is tacky enough to keep the model, so I don't have to do the beer can and use the cell phone or whatever to kind of hold that up. I find that green stuff is tacky enough until the time in which the super glue can fully kick in and stuff. So I mean, is that a viable technique, or
like I don't want to tell people to not do things their way. Like, obviously, if something works for you, I might not recommend the cell phone juice, and that might explain a few other things that I wanted to talk to you about. But if it works for you, dog, go for it. Like, I always find myself
in the past, for me, if I could jump in right there, that technique has led to failure. So for some reason, that's just the green stuff gets in the way of the curing, and eventually things snap off. But that's my personal experience. If it works for you, like Rob was saying, man, you can't.
Well, when it works for me, it just gets the model put together. But as anybody else who's seen my models, they don't stay put together.
Would I recommend that technique? No, I would not.
Okay.
What I found works good for me is having a third arm. But if you can't afford a third arm and/or find a third arm to help assemble your models, the gap-filling CA glue, I thought I had some around here, but I think it's like the pink top or the purple top. I don't know, one of them. That stuff works really good. It cures relatively quick. Don't use Kicker. Don't use any of that accelerant stuff. That is just bad news.
Come on, guy. You're a dagger through the heart. Zip Kicker is literally, I couldn't put models together with that. It's just literally, I'm breaking all the hobby rules. You guys like greens, or how about the plastic wheel? Is that okay?
JB, how about you use some hot glue? We could get you some nice, like, Martha Stewart, like, crafting set.
He's like, what do you mean? You can get me one. That's literally my next thing.
No, for real. I got one ordered. I was waiting until it got 5% off on eBay before I clicked buy it now.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend that either. But
Yeah, well, it's funny you mentioned the zip kicker. One of the problems with it is it makes super glue brittle. If it dries too fast, super glue needs a curing time. And so the only thing I use it on, I think Rob's right there with me, is I use it to glue my guys to my bases because later I'm going to transfer them to my sweet resin bases. So since it makes the glue brittle, I use it there so I can snap them off easily.
Yeah, that's a great use right there. Or just just a simple like light tack weld bead onto the bases. If you're going from plastic base to resin base, if you use the CA glue, you'll be able to snap them off pretty easily too. I feel like just a small bead.
And you can use the kicker, but you have to control it. You can't let the kicker get to all of it. Like if you glue this thing together, I have a paintbrush that's just destroyed for this purpose, and I'll just dab a drop on one side of the connection, so it's enough. It cures like a tenth of the surface area, so I can let go of it, and it can finish curing the rest.
I think Juice has a question. He's raising his hand.
So what you're telling me is that when I have my model and I put super glue like this,
and you dump it in the bathtub of zip kicker,
and then the zip kicker is about 8 inches away, and I spray and the entire model gets covered. That's not standard operating procedure at a lot of modeling companies.
And if I can make the next level painting, that is not standard operating procedure.
Okay, got it.
I don't think that would pass the muster, but that's okay. But speaking of passing the muster, after you do your inspection for all your parts, if you're missing a part, give Forge World a call. They are super easy to deal with. They even put up with me because I'm always calling them about missing stuff from like 10 different purchases. Like I got people all over the country that bought kits and they're like, "Why are you missing? How did you buy all this stuff?" And I'm like, "Yo, I got the receipt right here." And they're like, "Okay, no problem." But like, so it's super easy to work with. Really, really nice guys. Do your inventory.
Yeah, they've always been nice. You're right about that, man.
Yeah, they're even GW here in the U.S. GW, customer service has been really good throughout the years. Never heard anything, really bad horror stories. Even when all that Finecast stuff was going down. Which, by the way, did you notice that there's a Finecast release in the Eldar? The new release, they're like repackaging the Finecast.
Really?
I hoped you would say that because that's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Those jet bikes look so good, and then they have like a Finecast version coming out, and you're like, of the old one, and you're like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I'm not gonna buy.
I'm so glad that there's still 52 points for 3 of them. That's the only thing I'm gonna say.
It makes sense. I would actually feel bad for everybody who has 9 of them because that's all you ever need. I would feel like they wasted 9 models. Like. Who cares that if you were a NID player and you had 19 Carnifexes there that they're useless? Let's make sure that the fairly pointed, aggressively pointed, 51-point Eldar jetpacks.
I think the obvious positive points are the actual box set went down in price. It's $41. Normally it was 15 times 3. It was 45, and you buy 3 jetpacks.
So the cheapest, most effective projectile SKU unit in the game got cheaper.
Point-wise, got it. Seems good.
Money-wise.
Money-wise too, and you buy a box of 3 and you can field a squad of 3. So that's that's very convenient too. That's very.
Thoughtful. It's thoughtful.
Makes sense. It's very thoughtful. It's almost like they planned it that way.
I feel like we're right around the time I'd love to do another roll call. The Q&A is just filled up right now.
Brother, let's bang out some of these questions.
Oh, man. Justin Cox, great to hear from you.
Jay Cox, man, a happy early birthday.
Yep, no doubt. Keegan checking in, always blood for the blood god.
Blood for the blood god.
Actually, Sal has been blowing up, man. I want to get to a couple things. First off, to get it out of the way, thank you very much, man. It means a lot that so many people care and things like that with my family. My dad has actually decided today, just real quick, I don't want to go too far into it for everybody and bore anybody, but he's actually decided the doctor talked him into, and he is going to do chemo starting next week. So he told him a lot of positives that could happen, and that's literally was enough for him, and so he's going to move forward with that.
Good news.
So, yeah. So, Steve Bruley, always love hearing and talking with you. He said, first off, it was a great surprise to see the webcast tonight. He's listening as he's giving some TLC to his Demon Kin army. Spoiler alert, there is a phenomenal battlecast that has been, or battle report that has been recorded by Kenny and I, and can't wait for everybody to check that out.
And Rob Bear.
And Rob, Robbie B is basically in charge of everything. He keeps us in line. Fatty J checking in.
Oh, good old Jay riding.
John, if you missed the intro, it's not a black eye. My cat's pooped in my pillow. It's pink eye.
Don't get Jay started. Oh, Rusty! Shout out to Rusty, man. Rusty actually brought me a 5th of wild turkey at Adepticon, and I think he bought a gift for Rob Bear too.
I got 44 ounces of delicious apple cider, which really
gluten-free, man, gluten-free.
It didn't last very long. It was delicious.
Very thoughtful. Luis, man, checking in. Glad to see you here on Monday. Man, it's so awesome to see people on Monday night and then turn right around and you spend another hour now, hopefully from now on, with us on Wednesday night. It means a lot, guys. Thank you. Steve really wants to know, when am I? My local store, as a lot of people know, is Hit Point Hobbies. Robbie B was just down there for a tournament. I feel bad. He basically has, he lives in Southern Pines 3 months out of the year.
It's my summer.
Yep. So I'm going to be working with John McCaskill, the store owner, and trying to get some stuff together. So we should be making an appearance here real soon. Let me know first, furthermore, let me know when you're coming down so we can schedule some games in, man.
There's a tournament the 25th, next Saturday.
Yeah, that's there's no way. I hope everybody can come see me, but I'll be in Southern Pines. That is my big Southern Pines Springfest weekend. It's a good one for me. So, Kenny, I'm thinking about saving up for some Double D Eldar commission for you in the future. That is Cat Boxer, 40K.
The old Cat Boxer.
Yep.
Boxer Cat 40K.
So
save your pennies up. Take a look at the price guide, and then whatever you think it's going to cost, I'm going to charge 3 times more money than that, because that's what I feel about these new Eldar models.
Man, not to go too much in on Kenny though, but man, let me tell you what. Whenever I saw, I think one of my favorite couple models that he's done was that Dark Eldar, the purple, those Nephilim Jet Fighters, what they're called, or was that Eldar?
That's Eldar, the Crimson Hunter.
The Crimson Hunter. Man.
And all joking aside, that's one of our exclusive videos that just got released to YouTube today. So that's all the veterans in the Long War, all the in the Hall of Veterans. They've been able to see that video for a week now. Part 2 of that video is already up. It's been up since Monday. So that's kind of the exclusive access we're trying to give you guys. So if you guys haven't signed up already, Part 2 of this video is already live. We got a new video today, and on Friday the battle report is going to drop. So don't forget that. And all joking aside with the Eldar, I'm just teasing, of course. I love all the armies in this hobby. I just kind of maintain my natural hate toward the Xeno scum and Gargantuan Wraith Knights that have deep shooting attacks.
Speaking of which, it just broke a little while ago, probably about half an hour ago. The small Wraith Guard have their weapons are D, and the weapon platform is also D.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Good range. Let's introduce ranged D into regular 40K, and let's not just let it be Apocalypse for Forge World thing.
So
yeah, I'm just hoping that the points are appropriate. You're right. I don't care about that. Well, my major concern right now is if you have a Gargantuan 6-wound Wraith Knight that can move 12 inches, he now gains feel no pain, so he's a 3-up because he's Gargantuan. And he has a D shooting attack that's probably going to be twin linked, 2 shots. He moves 12 inches and has a stomp now. That if you compare it to a Wraith, if you compare it to a Night Titan, it is better.
In all aspects. Yeah, in every aspect. And furthermore, it is everybody's dream of a monstrous creature. Why do you think I play Nids, man? I love the big things. When I play Marines, I play Land Raiders and Terminator. I love big, expensive units. That's my joy. That's what I get out of the game. And it's a little soul crushing whenever Nids are supposed to have. That's what they're supposed to kind of be known for in one aspect, shy of the Swarm. And here all of a sudden we can't have a third of a monstrous creature of what this is.
Yo, it's so good. It's so crazy. People today have been blowing my phone up it better be at least 350. I was like, it better be 450, dog.
Yeah,
get out of your homes.
I pointed it up in the old day chart, and it was 500 points just going off of strength 10, which was a big deal back in third edition.
It needs to be at least 450 because a knight gets to say, I have a 4+ cover save on one of these facings. He has a 3+ armor save no matter how you shoot at him. If he's not in cover, he has a 5+ signal pain no matter what you shoot him. And if he's touching cover, it can be a 4 up, 5 up, or a 3 up, 5 up. Double save. He is way, and he's toughness 8 and has 6 wounds. He is way harder to kill than any Knight Titan has ever been.
Yeah.
He is. He can also.
He's got that 5 up, feel no pain in all directions. He's not limited.
He's got a 3+ armor save in all directions.
Yeah.
Well, look. Additionally, just the last thing I'll say about it is, shooting D weapons are better than close combat D weapons.
Way better.
And now
that's how come we see in major events all the range D is going away. That's actually what is on the top of the list now for getting rid of, just because they find over time that is what is the most unfun in that hobby, in that game aspect. But I think Willie here, first off, thank you, man, for checking in. Please subscribe and be a member and become a veteran. That'd be amazing. Kenny, man, he wants to know, I know you've done some in-depth videos on this. Maybe it could start your segment off, but he wants to know, what is a good beginner airbrushing compressor?
Oh, that's a great topic.
Yo, literally, I'll hit it up with that. I got a couple videos on the subject already, but I'll segue into responsible airbrushing right now. Step 1, buy an Iwata Eclipse. It is not a beginner airbrush. It is the only airbrush. You just got to get it through your head that it's kind of like, here's a great analogy, like if anyone ever uses, anyone a shooter in the audience, anybody likes guns, you can buy a Marlin Sport 22 for like $60, and you can hit the can with it. A really good shooter might be able to hit the black with it, right? If you buy an Anschutz, the guy who can barely hit the can, he'll hit the bullseye now. And the guy who was hitting the bullseye will hit X now. Literally no difference between equipment. That is essentially what the Iwata Eclipse is. Don't buy a cheap beginner airbrush. This airbrush literally makes you better at the act of airbrushing, just like that Anschutz rifle does. So I literally found a deal online. I was telling Rob about this the other day. He was here when I ordered it, actually. I found somebody on Amazon selling it for $93, free shipping.
That seems really good.
Yo, that airbrush retails $185. And you can always find a coupon somewhere. You can always get a good bundle deal. The bundle deal that you can find online with the Iwata Eclipse is about $350. Comes with the air compressor. That's all you need. Literally, buy that. Go out, buy that. Save yourself some time. That's responsible airbrushing, part 1.
And real quick, I actually got a phone call from a buddy of mine. He's like, hey, man, look, I need to know what kind of airbrush to buy. I was like, word, let me give you some details. Psych, put you on hold, called Robbie B and Kenny real quick. I was like, yo, need to know some information, kind of whatever. They're like, Hobby Lobby, this is how much it is.
40%, you can go online, buy a 40% coupon for free.
Yo, seriously, just go to their website. You get a 40% coupon for free, and there you go. So that helps cut into some of that cost.
Siri, merged calls.
So with responsible airbrushing, this is something I've been talking about in my videos a lot lately, and that is that airbrushing saves you a lot of time at the beginning of the project. You need to sit down and kind of remember how long things took you before you got an airbrush. If you were going to paint this squad of 10 Space Marines, and this used to take you 8 hours or 10 hours, and now you got all the basic base coating done in 5 hours, and you feel like you're almost done, you need to be a lot more responsible with your new power. You know what I mean? Like, this power isn't for cutting corners, and that's what a lot of people on the internet do, is they cut a lot of corners with their airbrushing, and that gives a lot of airbrushes a bad name. People say it looks too airbrushy. I don't like airbrush. I don't like this. I don't like that. That's because people got high to the new idea of, look, it's already almost done. Well, I'm just going to finish this bolter. I'm going to do this. It's done. It's like, dog, you wouldn't have called that done 2 days ago. You know what I mean?
Ooh, that's a good point. So don't forget the little steps. Yeah. Now that you have the power of Grayskull in your hand, don't forget the little people.
Absolutely.
Remember Cringeor.
Don't forget Cringeor, man. I mean, and that's one of those things I say. So, like, the thing is, the responsible thing to do is still spend 8 hours or 10 hours on the project, whatever your normal amount of time you were going to spend on it. It's just that now you do all the base coats and all those highlights in 5 instead of 6 hours. Yo, you got 2 extra hours, dog, to do those sick extra highlights on the back end. That's responsible airbrushing.
Is that considered next level?
That's airbrushing on the next level.
No.
And protect.
That's the kind of stuff that you get to learn. Obviously, on the Next Level Painting YouTube channel, but you get all that for free. You get all that for free on YouTube, but you get it now and today on the longwar.net.
Like right now? Like
right now.
Right meow?
Right meow, dog. There's videos right now where I talk about this and I show you how to do it. Right now, or wait, like we say, it's gotta plug the show on the show, but in a week, you don't have to give us any money. You'll get it, and it'll have 1 billion advertisements in it when it's on YouTube.
Yep, and then furthermore, there's about to be in the Hall of Winners. There's about to be some exclusive content, coming up soon. But going back to you, Kenny, I'm sorry. Volrath wants to know, so should he just take his Badger Patriot and just smash it into bits?
Oh, don't do that, actually. The Badger Patriot 105 is my second favorite airbrush. That is a decent. If that's a decent airbrush, you don't need to be in a rush to replace it with an Iwata Eclipse, but you're going to want to upgrade eventually.
All right, but he furthermore goes on there to say he just got done watching Office Space, and he's got a squad of guys prepared to take it out to a field with some bats. One guy's going to go fisticuff with it. So
if you do it, I want you to order an Iwata Eclipse first, so you can make a video about destroying that airbrush and replacing it with your Iwata Eclipse.
All I have to say is, damn, it's good to be a gangster.
You have said, no one has ever said those words less gangster than you just said.
I can't help it. This is all I got.
So now I've got a couple questions with airbrushing. Now my Corolla airbrush, Crayola, excuse me.
You bought that set. You bought a set with the markers.
The pump. It's got the air pump.
Yeah. Why are y'all laughing? That's not funny. That's what I got, dog.
We know it's funny.
So, but yeah, now see that I think they call that overspray. It will happen sometimes whenever I do it, And
what happens every time you use it?
I think that's the mode that it's set in. I can't get it anywhere. I'm not getting a steady stream, so I don't know. I don't know. I got a defective one.
Man, overspray is something that's one of the things I'll teach you in my videos of how to use overspray and not have it be a disadvantage. How to push forward through a project with the overspray, and the overspray was actually a part of the plan.
Would you say? Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Would you say it's planned oversprayage?
Planned. You got 2 different types of overspray: planned overspray and juice overspray. AKA, your models are getting juiced.
Oh no.
Sometimes you got to pay extra for that. That's all I'm saying.
I'd pay extra for that.
So yeah. So and then last thing, when you're airbrushing, now, do you recommend? Is it a huge time saver? Now I've seen you bust out some amazing stuff with mixing paints and things like that. But this is a question that I get asked all the time, and all I can do is just translate information for people with it. But those pre-done airbrush paints, are those the truth? Is that a real thing, or mixing them? Is that what's better? What's best?
Vallejo is probably me and Rob's favorite line of paints, the Vallejo Air.
They got Game Air.
They got the Game Air now, so they got some amazing colors and they're pre-mixed. They are the truth. But I still like to mix things together. I like to make my own mixes. I would say Next Level Painting is gone 80% Vallejo though. Okay. I used to be in a lot more. Got some of these paints placed, but now, man, I barely use GW paints. I think GW is only good at the wash game and the technical game. Privateer Press has some amazing colors from the P3 line, but man, Vallejo is the truth.
Speaking of technicals, did you have a chance to use any of that new Martian ground technical crackle?
I have actually started using it today, waiting for it to get the final crackle effect. And I'll keep you guys posted, obviously, on Instagram.
I'm very curious.
Yeah, I was doing some bases for these 23 Thunderwolves I'm working on.
Oh,
so
nice!
Like on those.
Some crazy kind of deserty kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I was definitely gonna go with that sandy desert look because I wanted something that was opposite of the way the wolves are painted. You know, because I did a bunch of Thunderwolves before, and I went with the lazy kind of gray black dry brush on the base. It turns out the wolves are also kind of black and gray.
Yeah.
So,
No contrast.
yeah. So I did not airbrush responsibly.
Troy wants to know. Thanks for tuning in, my brother. He wants to know, man,
Troy?
for overspray, try using liquid masking. To my ignorance, what is that?
It's a paintable cover. Like you can essentially, instead of like taping up the areas you don't want the paint to go, you can paint this on, spray, and then you can wipe pretty easily the liquid mask off. And you can actually do a lot of really crazy effects with that liquid mask. You can make some. There's a million tutorials on the internet, not by Next Level Painting because I really don't use it because it actually slows me down. But I have witnessed other people's amazing tutorials on those.
From what I've personally read, the Winsor Newton liquid mask is what everybody seems to recommend. Haven't actually used it, but that's what everybody seems to recommend.
Yeah, no, I've heard that too. It's just because it just what you'll learn on the from the Long War exclusive access on these videos is you'll learn that Next Level Painting is the marriage of quantity and quality. You got to still move fast. We still got to get these models on the table so Juice can teach us how to play them.
Yep, and same with me. Like I'm building these models quick. Like like I just put up a drop pod video today that'll go out on all the channels next week or whatever. But didn't put the inside harness in there because it turns out all those inside harnesses and those globes, those take just as long to build the whole rest of the drop pod.
Yep, if you're trying to get that drop pod ready for the tabletop,
yep,
and you want it to also be like a dreadnought drop pod sometimes, just leave the harnesses out.
And for real though, if people don't know that you can shoot through that and you get a 5-up save and they give you hassle about it, call us. One of us will immediately drive to where you are and do bad things to them.
That is the people's elbow.
I'm about to say that'll be Juice. Juice will show up and he'll RKO.
Yep. Yo,
People.
God forbid I got to tag in J Troop. So, but man, Kenny, thank you for that. No doubt. Like again, this Q&A is just filling up, and there's some great.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Some great rules questions. Sal is killing the game right now. I love it. He's got a question for us, man. He wants to know with these Skitarii models, I don't know if I'm saying that right or not, but with the Dune Strider special ability that gives them their extra 3 inches, does that count for a transport Rhino Razorback drop pod? Does that mean they can get out 9 inches now out of a drop pod?
It says 3 to all their movements, so I would go with yes, but let me double check.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that. And also, Litterbox 40K. It says that coach says hi. I guess they're at Home Depot watching this on their phone.
Oh, that's
hi, Coach.
Super coach, man. I love it. Coming in.
Coach has the new largest biceps in 40K. And he told you we get him in the same room as Justin Troop.
Yo, did you guys see Coach and Andrew's video of the of asking us the questions at Adepticon?
I did.
It was super hilarious. I love the part where Max Dubois is like talking, and like one of the services guys for the arena or whatever comes out of like the side door, and he's just like, oh, like he doesn't know what to do.
Does he just let me paint it for you. He knocks Max Dubois to the ground. Max Dubois says, "Oh, I'm sorry," in a French Canadian accent. It was obviously my fault.
Oh, is he so polite?
Yeah, that's what they do in Canadian land. So, but love it. C. Bruley wants to know the new Thirster kits allow for full magnetization on all variants. Did you guys know that?
I saw that.
Do you guys know? I'm sorry. Is that a real thing?
Yeah, I mean I don't know because that's definitely the point where we want to get to here in the Long War. Is like we want to be able to new kit drops. I want to be able to put it together. Figure out all the insides and outs, like how to magnetize it, how to make it dope for you guys. Kick it down to Kenny. Kenny paints it up, and then we do a video like the same week. That's what we want to get to, but we're not there yet. But what I have seen is that dude Miles over at Little Legend Studio over in the UK. He did one up, and it looked like the way it was. I thought I had my white dwarf here. Dang it. So. It's like they're all like this. They're all posed like this, right? So what he did was he just got it in a pose where it works for the glaive, and then he just basically made it work for just the single-handed weapons, and he did the different heads.
So he's doing like some nunchuck action like this with the single-handed weapons, and but he still can hold this weapon.
Right. So it was something like this, like he's holding the glaive. It looked good. So go check out his site. He's got a great Facebook. He does amazing work. Always puts it up on eBay. Gets spectacular prices for his stuff. Love to follow that guy's stuff, and that you might be able to kind of figure it out from there, Steve.
No doubt, man.
Awesome.
And that's bringing hobby back too, man.
Oh, Jay Cox, I just missed your question. I had to pull it up and now it's not. Let me just go rough down real quick. Jay Cox wants to know the Nightbringer Necron Codex. I'm paraphrasing here. Robbie B, you got one for us?
I got the Necron Codex. What's up?
So he wants to know the gaze that the Nightbringer does.
Yeah.
The verbiage on it, he says, is a little weak. It's not. Is it as good as I guess people are assuming that anything is wounded? Again, I apologize that I'm having to paraphrase. I just had it up, but
yeah, no, I'll look for it. Well, but in answer to Sal, real quick, on the Doomstrider, it says unit with the special rules. With the special rule, adds 3 inches to its movement phase. Its maximum move distance when it moves in the movement phase, when it runs, and when it makes charge moves. So yes, I'm gonna go with. You get to deploy an extra 3, and if you run, you still get to run an extra 3.
Whew, that's hauling.
I like that.
Those guys are quick.
So as Robbie B's doing that, Keegan says Bloodthirsters should have been gargantuan. Yes, I agree.
My God.
So I think we all agree on that. Like, so it's such an awesome looking model.
Chaos will just never get the love that Eldar Space Marines will get.
Yep. Sal says that he will pay me to come to his local shop and drop people's elbows. Word.
Arky knows.
At least once a year we'll be there, right? For Adepticon.
Good old Clint Mallet checking in from Australia.
That's what's up.
Says he's loving seeing Juice back.
Glad to be back, man. Thanks, guys.
Oh, I think we all are, man. For real.
408th Prime says done and done. I hope that is in reference to Long and sign up to the Long War. At least log in and try your 7 days for free, and if it's garbage, just cancel.
Let us know if we need to add more cats, because I've really been waiting for that to happen. So
and more videos of Juice RKOing people at the local gaming shop.
That's right. Angelo, man, thanks for tuning in. I apologize. I'm seeing you down here. I want to make sure I shouted you out as well.
Oh, man.
Let's
do it.
I wanted to start with my section of the night, and that is game management. Being respectful of both gamers. Now, we talk about, you guys have heard the three of us talk in depth on tournament talk, what you're going to do. Maybe some people could get the wrong impression on how, intense some things are going to be and whatnot. But actually, specifically tonight, I would like to speak on the casual gaming. When you come to your local shop on a Wednesday night, there's a lot of restrictions sometimes. Sometimes a lot of shops aren't open until midnight. Sometimes you might only have 3 or so hours, maybe 4 hours to get in. You got to get unpacked. You got to get everything else. Make sure you come to the game prepared. It is just as important as putting your models together as everything else. Make sure it sounds ridiculous, but make sure you got tape measures and dice and your codex and everything else. Because if somebody does ask you a rule question, if somebody has this and this, you need to make sure that you can be fact-checked. I make mistakes all the time. I'm not above it. Kenny and Rob and myself, we all play games together, and literally we are referencing stuff left and right just to double-check to make sure we don't give somebody the wrong information. Furthermore, if somebody says, hey, look, I don't know if I agree with that, don't get frustrated. Don't get anything else. Like, hey, cool, no problem. This is just as much as a learning game for you as it is for me. Let me show you real quick. You know what I mean? We've all had that guy that, double checks, triple checks everything, and that's a little overboard. But, as we always preach, this is a 3-hour agreement that one another are going into.
Yeah, the old social contract we always discuss.
Yep, exactly. That's not. It's that a contract isn't just fulfilled when putting and playing, putting models together and painting them, or showing up and ready to throw dice. Like you have to be prepared for what these next 3 hours are going to bring. You know, how many times? And I'm not saying that you have to go overboard or anything else, but you want to make sure. Don't be that guy that is really that sour to play against. And I have to admit, I have had more of those like opponents that could be misconstrued into that kind of train of thought in casual game more than I have in tournament play. Because when you come to a tournament, you've got all that stuff.
You've learned that you have to be on that level or you get in trouble.
Yeah,
because there's a rule set. There's guidelines.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so, and as we all know, we love this game. You know, but GW has made things. There's a lot of gray area, right? Well, guess what? There isn't gray area in. You got to have a tape measure. You have to have dice. You have to have templates. Man, it's not even that it's a frustrating or anything else, but some other people could see it slows the game down. God forbid, you're an opponent has been spending all week putting together these new models, this new whatever, and literally because it took so long to get everything out, your tech couldn't track down everything. You're able to get an hour and 30-minute game in, and you had to stop before the store closed. This guy is
nothing worse than that.
No, it's literally it's soul crushing for the opponent because he literally just wanted to put his models on the table and everything else. So again, and you've got 3 hardcore tournament players like the 3 of us telling you, you know what I mean? Be courteous even in all your small basement games, everything else.
You make a really good point on another subject there, Juice. Like with this game, how much time do you actually spend playing the game?
Not nearly as much as everything else.
So you need to make sure that every second you get an opportunity to actually play the game that we spend 1 billion hours fantasizing about, building models and painting models. You need to make sure that you get the most high quality minutes of every second when you're on the tabletop, and that's by not being a dick. That's by being prepared and taking the contract serious. You got to take the contract serious. I'm not saying you got to be like a politician about it or anything like that. I'm saying we're here to have fun, but don't ever take it for granted. Come in there, you know, and sweep it under the rug like it's not like it's you know all lackadaisical. You got to hit them hard with that love, and you got to be in that contract. And you cannot be slipping, man. Like it is, we all have things to do, and that guy that Joe was talking about was spending 6 hours, you know, every day after work this week to get those new Skitaria models painted up, and his wife just let him out on Thursday, and now he has to pack it up already, and he only got to play for an hour and a half. You know what I mean? Because you were slipping. Don't be that guy.
Nah,
yeah, don't ruin the hobby for somebody else, because there's too many people out there that are win at all costs and things like that. And you know, the hobby needs more. We need to bring the hobby back. I mean, that's really what it is. Whether it's, you know, modeling, painting, or playing, it's all the hobby. It's all the same. You know, this isn't something that you can just buy and you can play right on the tabletop like a card game or like X-Wing or like whatever. Like there's a social aspect to it, but there's also a very rich and rewarding hobby aspect to it, and that's, I think, what the draw is for a lot of people.
Yep. And furthermore, I would like to empower everybody who's listening and watching and everything like that to try to ensure that when you are at your local game night, you are whatever, if no matter where we go, there's always that guy. You know who we're talking about. There, no matter if it's at a store, a local, it doesn't matter. There's always
one guy or
whatever.
Who are we talking about?
All of the above. But I empower everybody here to make sure, you know, just very politely, make sure you're on them. Anything else, hey, look, man, people like that are not good for the hobby, you know, and make sure that everybody is getting the positiveness that they need from it. And if you aren't, make that person aware. Don't be a dick yourself. Don't come off as I'm going to fight somebody or anything like that. But let them know, hey, look, man, I am here because I love the game. And you want to know what? I want to make sure maybe next week, if you need something else, you come let me know, and I'll have it for you right away. You know, like this is a social contract. This is what it's about. So just make sure whenever you're doing it, there you are.
I think we lost Kenny.
Yeah, we're having some technical issues. I'm working on those on the side here. I got another computer pulled up. It's just
okay.
What I do. It's
all right. You're all right. You're beatboxing it. All right, word. Well, that's fine.
Real quick, I'm sorry, Robbie B, but man, I couldn't have said it any better, Coach. Bringing the hobby back campaign 2015. Yes, I completely agree. And again, I want to make sure everybody understands. Some people could look at Robbie B, Kenny, and myself as being hardcore competitive gamers. Like that is the truth. That is, yeah. I don't want to say that it's not, but I promise you what, if you come to the game and you are positive and you have a B-rated list, I'm going to play down. I'm going to make sure that we have a fun 3 hours. I don't. You know what I mean?
That last tournament Hit Point Hobbies, the guy Jeff came out. He's like, yo, I'm just learning the game again. I haven't played in like 10 years. Brought his like Dark Angels out. He had the old plastic Terminators. Were on 25 mil bases.
Love it.
And I was like, oh man, I have like such a beater army. I got, and I had to like, I was helping him with his game, and I was just like doing some stuff, and I was like, yo, look, straight up, this is an objective game, so like you're in there, like you don't have to worry about that. And here's what you do: you just ignore this big thing that's gonna march up the middle on you. Run around and get objectives. You're probably gonna win, and or at least be close in the points. And sure enough, like I think I won like 15-11 or something. He got 11 battle points towards the next round. Like.
Man, that is so great to hear. Also, last point, and then I'll get off so we can hit this Q&A up because it's blown up again. But, hey, look, whenever you're on a Saturday for your local tournament there and you get 10 or 15 people show up that you see a lot and everything, man, nobody needs to be a big fish in a little pond. You know what I mean? Nobody needs to be that win at all costs. Like, play to have fun. You only get better. In my opinion, the best way to learn the game is playing in a tournament. You get 3 games jam-packed in a day. You've got the time limit. This could be some people's first time limit experience. And all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, do I have enough?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be able to do this. Like, it's great learning. Don't add more stress by being that guy. It's a $10 entry fee. The best you're going to do is walk away with 60. You know what I mean? Like, come on, it ain't worth it. So it's not worth turning 2 people away from the hobby because you're that guy,
And I mean, if you know that you got to help them, just help them out with the rules. Like, you probably, being a veteran player, you probably know more stuff. Just help them.
Yep, exactly. I love it. So, Gnarls, man, thanks for tuning in. And yes, he's asking about narrative campaign on the game channel and everything. So
I'd like to do that.
Yes, I agree.
Or we can we can do some campaigns. Be like, yo, this is going. Dude, we could do Horus Heresy maybe eventually.
Ooh, I am all about some Horus Heresy. I've been thinking about it. I just haven't had enough time to get some models put together and stuff. But man, I'm all pumped about that. But I do want to do another spoiler alert. There is, not on the narrative side, but we did a Beer and Pretzels game that was recorded this past weekend. That'll be coming out on the latter of the April or mid-May. That is amazing. We've got Devastator squads with heavy bolters. We've got, literally just
all hobbied up.
Dope
looking.
Very good friend of the show, Riley. He's got names on each one of his bases. It is a full-on joke fest. It is a full-on, we're having a blast with it. So please make sure you guys check that out. So it's not always all about the competition. You're going to see that coming up with all our battle reports. It's going to be a mix of points from as low as 1250 maybe to as high as 2500 and everything in between. We're going to show competitive lists. We're going to show Beer and Pretzels lists. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I really couldn't said that better, Juice, because like I feel like if you want to see us do something, definitely hit us up about it. You want to see Kill Team, you want to see 1,000-point games, like you want to see narrative events, all that stuff. Like we want to do that. Like we want to have fun with it. We want to show you guys like some cool stuff. Kenny is really good at Kill Team. He's played in a lot of those events at Adepticon. There's some really good rule sets out there too that maybe that'd just be a little fun lunch hammer thing we could do.
You're talking about my Heat Kill Team?
Yeah, no doubt.
Void Wraith is saying I've been again. I mess up my letters and I see what I want to see sometimes. But Mr. Prime said that the worst player that he's ever played against, they were stayed away from him the entire game. He wouldn't believe any rules questions or rules debates that he came up with. It took forever. It was 4 hours and didn't get to the end of turn 3. I literally have been in that situation multiple times, and it is the worst. So don't be that guy.
Yeah, don't be that guy.
Yeah,
but
there's very little you could do to stop somebody from doing that to you.
Yeah.
But like in all reality, we talk about going to the gaming store and RKOing people. We're not going to RKO any people. You're not going to beat somebody up. You know, the fact of the matter is, there's almost nothing you can do to stop somebody if that's what they want to do. But what you can do is you cannot contribute. You don't have to buy into it. You know, you don't have to play. Literally, don't have to play. You know what I mean? Like.
That's exactly right. Coach is saying the worst that he hates is when somebody mixes the rules from 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. I'm going to add a disclaimer is I hate it when they do that and they know they're right.
I'll be honest. I might be that guy because I've actually played all these systems. And you know what? 2nd edition, you got Overwatch, you got Vortex grenades. What? You got it in 7th. Like, we all make mistakes. It all just starts like kind of all sounding the same after a while.
It's like what we said, right, man? Players mess up.
They do. So you just gotta roll with it. I've been trying to hit up Justin Cox real quick with this rules thing about the Nightbringer. So I wanted to get that out before we ended here. It looks like it kicks back to the Powers of Satan page, right? And then there's like some shaded areas and it says. Models armed with the Powers of Satan can use them as ranged weapons in the shooting phase of their own turn. So it looks like if he's locked in combat, probably can't, but he can use them as a shooting weapon versus flying, not flying, etc., based on normal.
Still has to roll to hit, though, right?
Yeah, so 6s to hit, unless he has Skyfire, etc. You know, I'm not sure the specifics, but it looks like that would probably be the case with the Nightbringer.
So at the beginning of the section for those rules, it says they are shooting attacks.
Yeah, there's a big green shaded section. I just have the Buster Poor People Codex, so it's in there.
Yo, did you guys talk about Steve Bealey trying to show some love for a new model for Chaos Possessed?
No, that was coming up next.
You don't want to answer that one? I heard Possessed in your heat.
He has a good point though with those new Skull Reapers, the Raid Hungers. They would be amazing Possessed Marines. Like you're right.
Oh, yeah.
That is all I have to say.
About this topic. So as we know, Kenny is a huge Possessed fan. He loves the models. He
loves the Possessed.
It tears him apart whenever he has to put corn dogs down on the table and not.
Yeah, man. Dude. Every time I have to waste 16 points on a corn dog, I just get so mad.
So mad, so frustrating. So it makes sense.
Dude, I'll tell you what. That Blood Host is what's up. I mean, when you take that, I mean, you do have to take the Possessed. But I tell you what, having that 2 points on turn 2 when you're about to smash face to pop off the mark or the fierce charge and the rage, it could be a game changer.
We'll hit the veterans with a little sneak peek right now. If you're watching this live, me and Juice just did a battle report with some of that Demonkin, and we forgot the blood tithing the entire game.
Ooh.
I wasn't gonna say anybody. I wasn't gonna say that.
Rob commented, he's like, "Yo, I don't think we did any blood tithing." It's like, dog, you know what? We didn't.
I actually don't even know what that means.
I'm just saying it wasn't a huge deal breaker, and it's easily trackable. We'll track it on the battle report.
Yeah, I'll promise that when I'm through the editing process, I'll track it so you guys would know what the tithing was. But you know what? Like, we're trying to play these new rules as they come out, and
dude, it's too much. I mean, look, you got 5 books. 5 books in 4 months. Like, that's,
yeah, man.
Hey, look,
so
I know that.
Feel free to tell us how bad we did, how bad a job we did when you see them.
First off, well, I don't even want to give the biggest spoiler alert away, so I won't. But I know we're back as against the wall here with time, but I do want to make sure I hit Gnarls up real quick, man. Like, I think this is a great question. He says, what do you guys think of the new formation and all the codexes? Do they actually bring more options to the game, or does it just make you play a certain way?
I want to jump in on this one real quick. First off, and this is actually going to be an article towards the end of the week. I already got in my stack of stuff to write up for the blog. But there's a lot of stuff that people haven't thought of. Like, yes, you can take 8 Soul Grinders and Blood Host and all this other stuff, and you can get crazy with the Necrons. But here's the big thing, and a lot of people have not caught on to this, or it hasn't been mentioned, whichever. When you take these Decurions and these things, the battlefield role of these units actually changes, guys. So you're not a heavy support anymore. You're not affected by big guns never tire. You're not affected by the scourging. You're not affected by these sort of things anymore.
Just to put out there, I don't think those are a thing anymore.
Okay. Well, anyways, your battlefield role actually changes to that was just my off the cuff, but to your core your auxiliary, or your command, and that's what it is. You're not Force Org anymore. Your Force Org is a battlefield role. So there's some stuff in here. Unfortunately, they wrote the Maelstrom to not conflict with that. They were actually really smart about it. So I think there's a lot of hidden opportunity here that really hasn't been touched on yet. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't even know if to go in. Obviously, it broadens the game, but this is 2015 40K. Options are basically limitless. So if you feel like it's too much, don't play with them. But you kind of got to know going into it, and it's actually on your Wednesday night random game night is actually going to be the worst, because there is no restrictions. There is no big brother saying you can't do something, you can do something. It is literally any data slate, any formation, any content out there that was ever put out and produced that is still legal is being played. So it does give a lot. I'm on the fence whether or not I think that it, as much as they're doing, if it's as much better for the game as I think 7th edition is.
So let's just say one last thing before we go.
Yeah.
Lewis M. fact-checking us. Gaze is not a Satan power. It's a Nightbringer only. So it does not categorize as a shooting attack. So it does seem that you could actually use it from combat.
No, it says it's you. Like if you look it up under Nightbringer, I thought it said it follows the same powers as the Satan. I just want to double check it.
We will go overtime to get to the bottom of this.
Yep.
Yes.
And this is what makes the show. Thanks, Steve, man.
Don't want to leave you guys hanging there.
It's always a good show when you're on, but this interaction back and forth, this is what the show is about.
Good old Sal calling us jabronis.
Okay. Okay, so it says in its shooting phase, in addition to using powers of Satan, this model can target one non-vehicle enemy unit within 12 inches. Resolve that blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, I must have just read that wrong.
It's done additionally. Yep. It's a lot like the old Boon mutation from Demons before, how it was done in the shooting phase, but it wasn't outlined as a shooting attack, so you could do it in close combat.
Yeah, it's just a line of sight, and yeah, line of sight. It doesn't roll to hit. 12 inches.
Well, tonight flew by so fast.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for our first Long War Webcast. We can't thank you enough, guys. So hopefully we'll be doing the same time next week, right? 9 p.m. Wednesday night Eastern Standard here on the Google Plus, the Long War Google Plus page. So if you haven't already done so, make sure you head on over to thelongwar.net for all the exclusive and early content. You can become a veteran today and check it all out. If it's not for you, hey, it's not for you. No big deal, guys.
For free. 7 days.
Yeah, for free 99s. All right. Well, I think that's about it. Juice, Kenny, thanks for hanging in there. I guess we'll see you guys next week.
Have a great one, guys.